Senator from Texas yield for a question?
I'm happy to yield for a question without yielding the floor.
Let me ask the senator a question and just cut to the chase. Let's just get to the bottom line. Former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, our respected leader of the Senate, Harry Reid, because of his position, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Kathleen Sebelius, and President Barack Obama. They've all said publicly that the Affordable Health Care Act is the first step to a single-payer system. Listen to the folks on the other side of the aisle, and many of them say the same thing. Now, let me ask you, we can call it single-payer system, we can call it national health insurance, but is this not the first step toward socialized health care? And is stopping socialized health care worth pulling out all of the stops and fighting the fight?
I thank my friend from Kansas for that very fine question. You are exactly right. Socialized medicine is and has been, everywhere in the world it's been implemented, a disaster. And Obamacare, its intended purpose is to lead us unavoidably down that path. I thank the senator from Kansas for his good question on that front and for his leadership. And I would note there are some Republicans, some commentators who have said, don't fight this fight. Don't fight to defund. Why? Because Obamacare is going to collapse on its own weight. If we just stay quiet, if we don't take any risk, give it time, it's getting worse and worse and worse, stay out of the way, it's going to collapse on its own weight. And there is both truth and falsity in that prediction. There is no doubt Obamacare is going to collapse, but the problem is the way it will collapse if it is implemented is likely to permanently damage the private health insurance system, to result in millions and millions of people losing their health insurance and having no ability to go back. And that's what enables Majority Leader Reid to go on television and say, fear not, this will lead us to single-payer government health care. Because when Obamacare collapses and shambles, he doesn't say this, but this is the necessary reasoning that leads him to this. When Obamacare collapses and shambles, it will take down the private health insurance business with it. So there'll be nothing left. Now listen, I commend the Majority Leader for his candor. I mean, there is a degree of courage in embracing socialized medicine. There are a number of members of the Democratic caucus who embrace socialized medicine, and I think every one of them shows courage and candor. I am very happy to debate at great detail whether socialized medicine would be good or bad for this nation. I don't think the American people are conflicted. If you look at the nations that have socialized medicine, every place it's been implemented, you see low quality, you see scarcity, you see waiting periods, and you see government bureaucrats getting between you and your doctor. So if you go in for government treatment, you may be told, you're going to have to wait 6 months. You're going to have to wait a year. Or you know what? A bureaucrat in the Ministry of whatchamacallit has determined you don't get that treatment. So I'm sorry. That's what has happened in every socialized medicine country in the world. And so to those on the Republican side, those commentators who say this is a risky fight, I've never once suggested this is an easy fight. But in my 42 years on earth, I have yet to see any fight that is worthwhile that is easy. Senator Roberts, in your years as a Marine, I would venture to guess you never saw a fight that mattered that was easy. None of us were elected to this body to do easy things. And if the Majority Leader is right, that leaving Obamacare alone will necessarily lead us to socialized medicine because The private health insurance will collapse, Obamacare will collapse, and there'll be nothing left. What a call to urgency. Indeed, I would say the majority leader in making that argument should be one of the most effective spokespersons for saying we ought to have 46 Republicans united in voting against cloture on this bill to say, no, we are not going to let a partisan Democrat vote fund Obamacare, because we're not going to be complicit in any way, shape, or form to destroying the private health insurance business and to forcing Americans in to socialized medicine. And let me note, in the meantime, even for those that somewhat serenely say, fear not, this is going to collapse on its own, the process will inevitably be painful.